Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am completing a challenge in The Sims, and the challenge is to only use the cheapest items in the game. And because I only have base game, I often don't have all that many options for that, but I think I will be able to manage it quite well. At least well, I think I did, because I've already built it, of course, so um, yeah, I have an advantage over you in a sense. At the moment, I'm building the shell of it, so I decided that I wouldn't care how expensive the build would be in total, just the items needed to be the cheapest. So, for example, I needed to use the cheapest tree and the cheapest columns. I already put them in, and that's also why I only have one type of plant, because that is the cheapest plant there is. And I thought about also using a flower, so I wanted to do tree, bush, and flower, but none of the flowers were really, well, it didn't really fit, so I didn't use them. But I did use some rocks, as you can see, and I used the kind of red swatch, because that one fit the best with the rocks around it, even though they aren't the same swatch, which I find quite annoying. I don't understand why the base game world has rocks that have a different color as the rocks that you can find in the game. It's really annoying, I think, but yeah, I can't really do anything about it. And if you do go into debug, you can find the same swatches with the rocks, so it's possible. But in this challenge, I restricted myself to not use debug at all, because oftentimes debug items don't cost anything. So I think that would have been cheating. And yeah, I didn't want to do that. But yeah, I'm still, well, finishing up the shell, and now yeah, putting in some trim around the balcony I put on the left of the build. And then I decided I needed to use another foundation, because with the columns it would have been weird to use the really close foundation, because the columns would have stood farther out than the foundation, and well, that would defeat the point of a column. And yeah, I decided on that door, because, well, it's the cheapest with that other door. And I decided that the sliding glass door wouldn't really be a good idea as a front door, so I didn't use it in the front. I thought about using it in the back, and at the moment it is in the back, but later I will change it, because I didn't like the style of it for the style of house that I was building. And I decided to use the green, or, well, teal swatch of the door, and that's why I also used the teal swatch of the tile in the back and in the pool. And in the front I chose another flooring. With the flooring I had a lot more options, because there are a lot of options that are that cost the same amount, so I had less trouble choosing. At the moment I'm struggling with the floor plan on top, and after the first go round I decided that I didn't like how it looked, so I deleted all the walls inside upstairs and changed them, because it just looked not quite right, not quite how I wanted them to. And then here you can see me changing the door, and I used the same door essentially for the inside, so just the one tile wide door, so it matches quite well. And then I chose that tile again because it matches really well with the door, and it was the cheapest, with others of course, but that one fit the best with the style that I was going for at that moment, at least. And then I chose the flooring and the wall coloring as well. So I just put down a really basic color at first to make sure that I had a color on the wall, and later I will change some of the walls to make it a little bit more interesting. And then I thought about doing a bar, but it didn't really fit. I just put in a counter, and there I'm doing the kitchen with a sink and oven and also a fridge. At first I forgot to put it in, but then I noticed, well, I can't really put an end counter there where I'm going to put the fridge, so I changed the end counter to a fridge. And then some cabinets, and honestly I don't like the base game cheapest option for counters and cabinets, um, and yeah, I just didn't have a choice. I needed to use them because, well, it's the cheapest items challenge. So yeah, that's why I use them. And I think the black and white swatch isn't as terrible as it could be. It's still terrible, kinda. I don't really like it, but it's fine. It could be worse. Now I'm in the bedroom, in the parents' bedroom to be specific, and I used the at the moment the blue swatch of the bed is in there, but I didn't use it in the end. I used another swatch. And now I'm downstairs, and I at first I looked at the couches, but they were all weird, so I decided to just use armchairs downstairs for the living room. And of course, I needed to use the Penguin TV because it's the cheapest, which I don't mind that much. I think it's quite unrealistic, of course, but you can't really change it. And then the stereo, I fit to have the same swatch essentially as the TV, so a black and white swatch. And I made sure that all the wood in the living and dining room area is the same, and I think it fits quite well with the teal swatch of the armchairs, or turquoise. I don't really know how you would call that. Bright blue. Well, those are three adjectives that you can all use. And I decided in that corner I wanted to do a reading nook, so I put some books down with the shelves. I wanted to make it a real bookshelf. So I improvised with shelves and some of the cheapest book item, and I changed the swatches a little bit so it would be less noticeable that there are just 3 times the same books. And then I put down some skill building item with the chess table, just to fill the space and also to have a skill building item there. And I put the half wall there to make it less weird to have that chess table just in the middle of the room. And here I put the computer. I don't know if I put it in now. So just because I think that every Sims build needs a computer, at least if you want to play it. So I put that down there. I thought about doing it in the parents' bedroom, but that room that was there just fit too well, so I decided to use that there. Now I'm in the child's bedroom, and the furniture matches quite well, so I didn't have problems there with the matching of the furniture, but I don't really like the swatches of those, or the default swatches at least. So I will be changing it, at least I think so. Yeah. And again, it's that turquoise blue swatch, which is everywhere in the build. So I decided that the parents' bedroom will be green. and I changed that to fit that. So I used the same rock because it's the cheapest and I can't use anything else um, everywhere. I just made sure to change the swatch if possible, so it wouldn't be as noticeable, and also that it wouldn't be it would fit with the color scheme that I already had. As you can see now, I cut out the putting down of the windows because it didn't take all that long, but I decided to cut it out to save some time with the video because otherwise it would be even longer than it is already. And then I put some trim on the outside because I forgot to do that previously. And now I'm putting in decorations. And well, the cheapest plant is the first plant that you can see in the catalog, at least in the base game. And yeah, I put that down everywhere where a plant was needed because I couldn't use any other plant. All the other plants were more expensive. But then I went through the paintings tab and I decided that I could use the different items. So in the child's bedroom, I used the child's painting and a poster and the wall decor or decal. I don't know how it's called actually. And I decided, even though the painting in itself was more expensive than the poster, for example, I decided there are different items. So maybe some would say that I cheated a little bit there, but I decided that it would just be terrible to just use that fish object that you could put on the wall as the only decoration in the child's room. And so sometimes I interpreted the rules a little bit differently. So, for example, the painting that you can see in the dining room is the cheapest adult painting that you can find. And then in the bathroom for decorations, I put in a shelf with two sets of towels, or no, one set of towel and the tissue paper. In both bathrooms, I did that. And upstairs I also put in the toothbrushes. And here you can see that I also changed the wall coloring to match the style of the room a little bit better. So I put in something blue with in the child's bedroom and green in the parents' bedroom. And then I decided to match the rug a little with that orange. So I have an orange and teal color scheme in the public areas, and outside I put all black furniture, which would be a nightmare in a really hot place, I think, because the sun it really heats up the black objects. But I decided that I didn't care for the Sims. I just like the color scheme with the teal or mint. I don't know what that color would be called, but it really fits nicely together, especially because the table with the umbrella is already that swatch, so it has black and that color. So I think it really fit well together. And then I went to every items tab in the third category and looked if anything would be appropriate to use. So, for example, the camera, I use that because I don't have a camera anywhere, and it would fit with the cheapest. It's the cheapest, creative item maybe. I don't really know. It's the cheapest item in that category. So I decided that it would be fine to use that here. And then I went on to lighting, and I could only use that lamp. I could have thought, I thought about saying, okay, that's a children's lamp, and I can also use the cheapest adult lamp. But I decided with the lighting, it doesn't really look all that childlike, so it could go through as a normal light, so table light and also the standing light. and yeah, so I decided it would be fine. And the lights that I already used are actually the cheapest lights, at least ceiling lights. So I decided to just continue using them, and it would be fine. And then for more decorations on the walls, I put some clocks everywhere. In almost every room, there's a clock, I think. And then I also put down some kitchen items, so the coffee machine and the microwave. And yeah, I just went through all the categories and found the good items. Now you can see some screenshots of the build. I hope you like it, and I hope that you think I conquered the challenge that I set myself. You can, of course, look at the build on my gallery page and download it and play in it if you want to. My ID is TGGSims. I also hope that you liked the video and will consider liking and subscribing. You can, of course, also watch any of my other videos, and I also hope, of course, that you have a great week. Bye.